welcome back to our discussion on the tissues of the body. In this video, we will discuss the glandular epithelium as a part of the epithelial tissue. So the glandular epithelium, we're basically talking about glands, and the glands would be considered as one or more cells that would have a function of secretion, that is to create substances inside it and then make it all the way out into an apical surface of the body. Those secretions are aqueous solutions containing a variety of proteins. An aqueous solution means that there is a large concentration of water, and there would be proteins that are dissolved in these secretions, and they can be exported outside of those cells and all the way to the surface of the body. In terms of the classification of these glands, we have to consider the product that it's being released inside the cell or outside the cells. And another thing that we use for that classification would be the number of cells that are forming that gland. So let's talk about the types of glands that have no ducts whatsoever. So they will be found completely on the inside of the body. We call those endocrine glands. This is a special type of cells specialized in the production of hormones, and we are going to think about hormones as this chemical messengers that regulate and control processes around the human body, and they are excreted out of the cells by the process of exocytosis. So those chemical messengers are going to be produced inside of the cell. They're going to be packaged in a little vesicle, and they will make their way outside of the cell. That is what endocytosis it's all about. In general, most endocrine cells are multicellular little organs, and their secretions vary all the way from having amino acids to peptides, which are small proteins, to glycoproteins, to steroids. There is a wide variety of secretions that could be produced inside of endocrine glands. And these endocrine glands are very much related to the endocrine system, but they are made of epithelial cells. They are made of epithelial tissue. Other types of gland that we have is the exocrine gland. Remember that endo means inside, so they would be inside of the body, or their secretions would work inside the body. While exocrine glands, their secretions are going to go outside of the body. Therefore, the word exo in the name of exocrine glands. These glands secrete their products or their secretion up to or onto body surfaces, and we understand from that skin or cavities. Exocrine glands have ducts that can connect the underlying cells all the way to the surface. And we have two different kinds of exocrine glands. We can have unicellular glands, or we can have multicellular glands. In the case of unicellular glands, we have special mucus cells and goblet cells that are very particular. We can find those cells inside of simple columnar epithelium in the intestine of the human body. They're commonly found in there and also in the respiratory tract. Their main functionality is to produce mucus, and mucus is there to lubricate things passing through here. Multicellular glands consist pretty much on two parts: a duct and the acinus, which would be the secretory unit, or the cells that produce the secretions to be excreted later. That secretory unit is surrounded by connective tissue, which holds the glands in place. These glands are classified by their structure and also by their type of secretion. So let's have a look at different glands so that we can learn about this classification by how they are. We have exocrine glands that are tubular in nature, or they are alveolar in nature. Tubular is that they are more like a straw-like kind of gland, and alveolar are more round in the area of their secretory units. So we can have tubulars like this, right? They could be branched tubulars as well. The alveolars, they could be simple or they could be branch, and we can also classify them as simple, meaning that there is only one major branching on the gland, or compound. But as you can see, they have multiple different glands inside of there. Also, for the alveolars, we can have them compounds, and we can have them tubulars as well. So it will all depend on the shape of this gland on how many subunits it will have the gland so that I could be able to classify them. So that's everything we have to talk about, at least of this glandular epithelium. We would have a larger discussion of this particular type of cells, of this particular type of processes, when we discuss the endocrine system. So the majority of everything would be the covering epithelium because it's the one that it's more pertinent to our chapter on tissue. So thank you for your attention, and I will see you on the next video where we will discuss the connective tissue.